Good morning, I'm Rocío and this is 4 Minutes from Spain. Today we have a special guest, Sofia Brenner. How are you?
Good morning, I'm so glad to be here. I've come to talk about Spain since the ending of the 19th century until now. We will start with the National Health Service.
Good beginning, but first, let's define what National Health Service is. National Health Service is the health care that citizens receive from the government through hospitals that guarantee operation, medicines and casualty services are provided.
This started with the Commission of Social Changes to improve the relationship between capital and work. It was created in 1983, but until 1890 it lacked importance. In 1903, the School of Social Changes appeared with the objective of finding peace between workers and business owners.
The situation in the previous years to Primo de Rivera's dictatorship ended up dissolving the school in 1924. Before that, in 1919, the first obligatory social insurance and the old age one were approved. In Primo de Rivera's dictatorship, the subsidy of numerous families was approved in 1926, and later the maternity insurance was created.
Yes, during the Second Republic, some rights were starting to be approved, such as some workers' rights, accidents ones, etc. Unfortunately, unemployment was high.
During the Civil War, the biggest worry went to maternity, childhood, and the insertion of disabled people. When the war finished, some of the measures established before it were extended. During Franco's rule, this was strengthened.
The Constitution of 1978 favored the National Health Service by passing the laws that favor the citizens, and this still works nowadays.
Yes, anyway, you mentioned before the unemployment. Nowadays, Spain's situation is quite bad. About 25% of the active population is unemployed. Before this, the situation was quite different. This was partly due to education.
Most of the population was illiterate, but from the second half of the 19th century the first education law was passed, which said that primary education had to be free. Education was equalized in 1938. Both girls and boys had access to education.
This favored the culturization of higher middle classes, but it didn't affect the low classes that much because they had to work and they couldn't study. Despite the improvement in education, boys were still separate from girls in classes, but it disappeared little by little.
The children of rich families could go to private schools or receive private classes in their houses thanks to governesses. Most of the students who received further education were boys, because it was considered that girls had to stay home and look after the children, so they didn't need more education.
With the pass of time, this started to change because it was proved that women were as prepared as men and that we have the right and ability to do other things apart from being housewives.
Yes, actually the situation has changed a lot.
Even though this is true, there's still sexism because in most jobs, women earn less money than men, no matter if they work in the same thing or during the same hours.
Sexism has always existed because it was thought that women were inferior than men, weaker, and that they only existed to take care of the house and of their families. That's why a lot of women didn't need education.
And the limited education they've received was based on the house and children cares. In other European countries, the suffragist movement took place to obtain the right to vote and other rights, but in Spain, this didn't happen until later.
However, some female writers and intellectuals defended the equality of women. Women obtained the right to vote, which means that equality became important.
True, but with Franco's arrival, the right to vote became prohibited, both from men and women, so all the progress was in vain.
Not really, because after his command, the right to vote was established and women also got it again.
Thank God it happened. Well, it has been a pleasure to have you here as a guest, but unfortunately, today's program has finished.
The pleasure has been mine. Thank you very much for the invitation. Goodbye.
This has been all for today. Tomorrow we will talk about Spain's entry to the European Union and what is supposed. See you tomorrow.